BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions. As you're going to notice this month, this video was supposed to come out earlier, and hopefully as I'm typing this, I'll have the script done the day I actually plan to record it. What a shock! Though that being said, you are all going to be surprised by this. I was not expecting to be even getting a new opening and ending for Beyblade X. No, seriously, you have no idea how shocking this is to me. Excluding visual updates or transition from a 22-episode series to an 11 one, this is the first time a Beyblade series has had more than one opening in it since Beyblade G Revolution. That has been 20 years since we had a change like that. But I wasn't following the news cycle, but yeah, after some digging on March 21st, 2025, Tomorrow X Together announced that they would perform the opening theme song Rise for Beyblade X on April 4th on TV Tokyo, which was today when I scripted this, and now it's tomorrow as I'm recording this. It was written by UZ of G Programming and Momiken B of Spy Air to be described as full of energy as if running into a new era. Personally, I think it nails it. Believing in your own way and path, no matter how many times you've walked and stumbled, crying and letting yourself feel that pain, but using it to rise instead of breaking, reminding yourself that a younger version of yourself you'd write down and push your fists to be like that, the hard times of giving up and letting yourself in regret. We've all had that, but we are all our own rivals, hurdles, and if you let yourself fall down that dread and despair, eventually you'll find a path to push yourself up. Don't let go of your strength. Sleep as you and the sun are going to rise the next day, and it's your chance to believe in your own way again. Like, I love this song. I kid you not. I'm fighting mild eye pain as I'm writing the script because my body won't let me sleep, and I don't care. The moment I had a break from work and I found out about this song, I fell in love. Like, I've listened to Rise about 50 different times, and I kid you not, this song is absolute peak in terms of music. Like, I get the argument that it's generic for some people, and regardless of what I'm gonna say, it's all our opinion, music is subjective, and I can respectfully disagree with that. But for now, in my script, can I just point out how hypocritical this is coming from Beyblade fans? We've had generic Beyblade openings in the past, and even if I'm going to agree they could have expanded on the visuals later in some areas, this is far from the most boring opening, especially if we're talking about the Japanese versions. Fighting Spirits had cool shots, fine, with Tyson and Dragoon with the 5 Blade Breakers and their Bit Beast, but that's it. And it has a generic character spinning in a circle or doing a cool pose for the characters everyone makes fun of. And if you think I'm being unfair because it's the first, V-Force's openings are equally boring and generic. Like, Off the Chain shows the new Dragoon and the Bit Beast fight, but other than that, it's literally just 2 variations of the characters and their bays with poses, and then the one shot with Dragoon flying down past Hillary and Kenny before passing the other bladers on the team, and Dragoon fighting some generic blade that doesn't even have a name. And Jet is even worse. Like, at least Dragoon V and Flash Leopard duke it out, and you get to see the Bit Beast of the Saint Shields. But other than that, it's just the Blade Breakers posing and then looking like they're going to battle each other. It's really not until G Revolution that the opening visuals get good. Then again, the second version of 4D's opening definitely eliminated half of the interesting visuals, and Zero G definitely tried with the limited 1-minute opening. And Sparking's visuals are so boring, the dub opening looks much worse in comparison since they didn't mix the actual song beats with the creative visuals. And if we're talking lyrics, don't even start. Like, Beyblade is an optimistic series. If it's these lyrics, fine, whatever. But Fighting Spirit is about embracing your dreams. Off the Chain is training and pure chaos in its lyrics. Towards Our Era, Go Ahead, the first G Revolution opening, is about running and plunging to our dreams. The Metafight openings are about not letting life break your heart. There's literally a song for a 4D called Courage of the Heart. Zero G at least mentions starting from zero and reaching the legends, with Chozy, Sparking Revolution, and Dynamite Battle at least cater to the protagonist exclusively, and Darkness to Light does what it needs. Heck, I'd argue this song fits Bird's journey the most. One of the criticisms against Beyblade X is that Bird only loses despite the series about growing from your losses, and how true winners have the skills and fun to keep going and living out with your best friends. And yeah, life in the real world ain't so great either. We've all had more losses than we've had wins, but as long as we stay alive, and no matter how many times the world makes us cry or damage us, we won't let it break us one bit. But I don't hate the visuals. It's cool to actually have all 4 of the protagonists together since Tenka spent most of opening 2 away from the Persona trio, and while that part remains true, at least it shows by the middle that they're all a united team. Jumping ahead, we also have her with the team group, probably symbolizing she's buried the hatchet with Bird and Multi now that the star battle has commenced. We've got Bird training and XU lends his hand, which, yeah, they're friends, but that's also how their friendship started, which, nice callback. I like the shot of the 4 coming together, though Nightmail isn't in this opening one bit. Technically, it feels like even though Wizard and Knight are her base, the Wizard line is treated as her main line in marketing and production. But the transition switching to Exu alone with Chrome looking down on him, then looking back with disappointing, is jarring since we don't see Exu that angry or concerned much. To be fair, the anime has had Exu take more notice of Chrome's actions in the anime than in the manga, and we know that they have to animate them meeting up. But I wonder if they're going to have him be more concerned for Chrome's situations, given that he was flat out disappearing for probably months at that point. I'm also probably not going to be the first one who brought this up, but all the teams posing with the leader actually references quite a few Metal Fight Beyblade openings. A lot of them either have their teams posing and with their characters posing with their Beyblades. Tsubasa, Yu, and Ren from the Metal Fusion, Metal Masters, and Zero G openings are the first ones that come to mind. We also get shots of all the three-person teams with the Fox Lady, Buff Guy, and Poison-looking dude, which before this I forgot weren't on the same team. They're all on different teams. So I'm expecting at least one of them to each have their own Beyblade. This is the part I think they could have done something else, or at least added the Fox Lady's team to the montage before the beat. I'll agree there, even though it's funny that those concerns with the teams with the least toxicity, given who got excluded, they're not wrong, but morality in Beyblade X is interesting to say the least. But the next shot is with all the Beyblades clashing in space except Nightmare for some reason, and it's really beautiful, especially since they all converge and fly towards the constellations, since obviously we're starting the Star Battle arc where every team is participating. Next, we got the shot of the Majin family and Megaoka, fitting as the song says don't let go of your strengths, while they're the characters help Multi repurpose her strength. Or regain it in a sense. But I do feel bad for Shieru and Shigeru, the S-duo of Pendragon, are basically on their own with no sign of if they'll get Chrome back. It's actually funny since behind them is Black Waves, and Shelter Drake combines the concepts of Shieru's Black Shell, the Black Tortoise based on the Water and the Dragon, with Impact Drake. I think they needed to add something with Shelter Drake, though it's a nice contrast to opening 2, where Shieru was the one separate from Chrome and Shigeru trying to figure things out, and now those two are on the same page here. Also, Ginro's here. Technically, openings don't always have to tell the truth, though I'd argue that the Beyblade openings hardly ever lied. Though I could make a video on the few times it did, let me know in the comments if you want that. But I'm glad the whole Ginro investigates the underground plotline isn't going away, because Baito has to be connected to Omega. But the best shot is Tenka and Exu ominously facing off against all of Zodiac, including Omega. Given that we know that all three members are strong enough to defeat Pendragon, and Tenka's relationship with her mom is the reason she went to Persona in the first place, yeah, it definitely gives off the fact these two have to work together in order to take her on. Or down. The only thing that's a bit of a bummer, I feel like after a scene like that, they should have had Bird and Multi rush in as the sky changes to light, proving that it'll take the four of them working together to beat Zodiac. That being said, all of Persona eating sushi and having fun after intense showdown fits the themes of the show, and it treats X and Birds as equals, much more than some fans actually do. So yeah, opening's great, but the ending, I argue, is actually more interesting. It starts with Tenka training, with Bird noticing a butterfly in the alleyway, Multi slowly noticing it in the park, and Exu conveniently at the boardwalk where he figured out Chrome was common Y and doesn't notice it. Or at least something familiar to it. Then Tenka sees her younger self running back with the pedals, transitioning to her walking with her mother, Rance, which I'm pretty sure is going to get Romanchi to Lance, and Midian. So yeah, all of Zodiac raised Tenka to some degree. That would actually explain a certain scene in the manga having way more weight now in hindsight, since Tenka's essentially taking on her mother and two honorary cousins or uncles. And somehow, that's still the most we know about Mirion outside of his voice actor, which, yeah, I want to know more about him and his bae. Hurry up and tell us what it is, Sakura, tell me. Anyway, it's a great transition to the other's childhood. Bird with Team Albatross pre-blading, Multi being carried by Shigeru, Exu with Ginro, as Tenka sees the lights of the three guiding her before deciding to leave the butterfly and head out on her own, passing by the three with happiness in her eyes. It actually paints a lot of Tenka's actions in a new light. She's grown up in a strict family, with her mother leaving and bringing shame and causing turmoil, but Tenka left with a duty, and now she actually has friends and people who care for her outside of her family. Okay, I know this is just an ending, but if the anime decides to flesh out that idea or expand upon it, I think it would make people appreciate Tenka's character a lot more, since she's more than just being mean and strong. And how in character is it for Bird to be the first one who's able to catch up? the fastest, with X2 taking the longest. Still, it's crazy that we got these openings in the first place. And yeah, these are pretty cool. Like, if you're going to have 2 openings and 2 endings in one season, I always say go all out, or stand out to imply the second half is going to be more hyped than the first. And I think they did a good job, even though I wish there were some things that could have been changed. If you made it this far into the video, type Persona United, since we got the team back as of this episode. And please let me know all your thoughts about the opening and ending in the comment section below. I wasn't joking about me listening to the song 50 times. It's that good. Anyway, BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, thanks for watching, and signing off.